How many of you know what a hedge is? And I don't mean the plant that grows on the side of your house. Okay, hedging. Anybody know what a good hedge would be? Say what? Oh, that's interesting. Gold's down 55% this year, but it has, and it's a hedge against what? Gold is a hedge against what? Anybody know what it's a hedge against? Inflation. We haven't had any inflation, i.e. gold hasn't done very well. But it's something that does the opposite of what, it protects you against a downside risk. So if a hedge is something that would take risk away from your investment. Hedging is really important. 90% of the people I talk to have no hedging or very little. So I'll meet a client and they'll say, well, I have this large cap investment, I have this small cap investment, I have this mid cap investment, I have this international fund, and I have this REIT stock fund. And they'll say, I'm diversified, which by the way is a form of hedging, diversified. Put your eggs in more than one basket. But what have they really done? They've put them all in one basket. There's a 90% correlation between all those baskets. What one does, the other does. So what have you really done? Nothing. And when the market crashes, and that's all of those baskets do what? They go down together exactly the same way. So how many baskets do you have? You had one. Yeah. How many baskets do you need? Well, that depends on who you are, how old you are, how much risk you have to take in order to get to your objective. But hedging is really important. There are ways and within your choices of plans to hedge your investments by having multiple baskets. What would be a different basket? Bonds. What's the problem with bonds today? What happens when interest rates go up? Prices of bonds go down. Are interest rates going to go up or down? They can't go down. Why? They're almost at zero. So we've had 32 years of declining interest rates, most of your lives. And so bonds have been a really nice thing. But what's going to happen going forward? I don't know. So you still have to own them. So how could you own a bond and not worry about rising interest rates? Indexed or floating might be a better way to do it so that the price isn't the issue. Just floating means that if the rates go up, your bond goes up automatically. There are ways to own hedging investments, and you need to own them in every portfolio. There are several ways to hedge. One is there are some investments that do well in bad markets. The problem is they don't do well in good markets. So if you own them, what's going on right now? Nothing. And so what do you think? The average investor does what? Well, it's not performing, so what do? I sell it and go buy what's performing. So I always buy what's hot. And that's what we see. 90% of the time when I look at your investment plans, I see you're always in the hot ticket. But the hot ticket is also the one that takes the biggest hit. In 1999, I had a client who called me up and said, Boeing has just offered a tech fund in their 401k plan. And I said, oh, that's exciting. How much did you put in? 90%. What happened to his investment 1 year later? 80% loss. All his eggs in one basket. But he went with what was hot. Had an 80% return the year before. He said, it had an 80% return last year. It looks really hot. That's not how we invest. So hedging is a smart strategy. All of you should have an investment strategy. It should be hedged. That is, if the market goes down, you're not going to take the full hit. And those of you who are over 50, this is critical because there will be another dip. Will it be a big one? Will it be a little one? I can't tell you. When will it be? I don't know. I just know there is. The other principle that's really important is there are more up years than down years. Go back in all of history, in all of the markets, there are always more ups than down. So if you know that, that's an advantage. So if you know there are more ups, why not take some of the up and buy protection against some of the down? Might work. That's called hedging. Everybody got that? Other things you need to review in planning for retirement. This one's really interesting. It says life homeowners. How many of you have group insurance at work? How many of you have a clue how those rates are determined? Okay, so I don't know your group plan. I have never looked at it. I probably have, but I can't remember. I look at them every day. But here's what, I'll just take life insurance as an example. The odds are that in most group life insurance policies, up through age 45, group insurance is by far the cheapest. From 45 on, group insurance, if you're healthy, group insurance is more expensive. Would saving money on your health or life insurance put more money in your retirement plan? Have you looked at it? Do you know? You want to know. It's really important. Second thing, auto and home. How many of you have auto and homeowners insurance? How many of you have a clue what it says? I actually read those things. I'm licensed. I don't sell it. I'm a planner, but I read what people buy. Here's what I see. 80 to 90% of my clients have the wrong coverage, and they're paying significantly more than they need to. They buy whatever their agent tells them to buy. And they've never looked at their risk relative to their goals. And when you put the two together, last week I had two clients. One client I saved $1,500 and improved their coverage. And the other client I saved $600 and improved the coverage. And I didn't sell it. I just went out and showed them what to go find and where to get it. And they found it, and there it was. What does $1,500 a year do to their retirement plan? It helps a little, doesn't it? So don't assume that what you own, and you pay huge amounts of money for all your different insurance products. Are you with me? And so you want to make sure that you're constantly reviewing those with someone who understands what it is. And chances are, I don't understand your business, but I understand this business. So have an advisor that knows how to give you good advice about that. How many of you have umbrella policies? Oh, good. There's somebody getting that part. As you get older, you have assets. Your assets become exposed. And the more assets you have, the bigger the target is on your back. So if you get in an accident and you're at fault, even if you're not at fault, and you hurt somebody, let's say one of you is texting while you're driving on the way home today, and you hit me. How much am I going to sue you for? As much as I can get. Why? Because you hurt me. All right? And I have to take care of my family. So where am I going to go when you run out of insurance? I'm going to go after your retirement assets. You bet I am. Okay? Now, some of them are protected, but some of them aren't. And that's I'm not an attorney. I won't practice that part. But just understand that reviewing your benefits and how much you pay for them is critical in planning for retirement. The other part is Social Security. So my wife is same age as I am, and I'll give you an example of how complicated Social Security has gotten. So can I take my Social Security right now? I can. So can she. She's 63 also. So if I take my Social Security right now, what's my problem? I'm going to get a little bit less, and if I make too much money, what are they going to do? They're going to take dollar for dollar away from it. In other words, if I make more than $14,000 something a year, they take every dollar of my Social Security above that. So will I do it? No. But my wife isn't working now. She's decided she's going to stop working. And she might do a little part-time work, but she's not going to earn $14,000. Could she take hers? She could, but she will get less. Now, when I retire at 66, if I retire at 66, does she get any part of my Social Security? Maybe. It's maybe, because if I don't take it, she can't have half of mine. She can have half of mine if I apply for Social Security. But let's say I'm 66 and I tell my son, sorry, Charlie, I like this, I'm going to keep going, which is likely, by the way, and because I love doing this. And so I decide I'm not going to do that. She's relegated to her own Social Security benefit, and she cannot get my half. My half is a lot bigger than hers because I made more money than her because she spent too many years raising my kids. And but I could do this. Most people don't know this. I could apply for Social Security at 66 and defer it. And she could collect half of mine right there. If you didn't know that, what would happen? You'd lose it. You just lose it. You just don't know. There are a lot of funny options in Social Security. By the way, by me deferring it, I get an 8% raise in my Social Security benefit every year I defer through what age? 87. You guys are good. So you've had this meeting before. So that's good. So is Social Security important? It's very important. Are there a lot of options in Social Security? What really gets complicated with Social Security and your pension is which one do you take first when? And in what order? And how do I know I won't run out?